God, if your life had a face, I would punch it.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Oh my God!
Scott Pilgrim?
Hi, I was thinking about asking you out, but then I realized how stupid that would be.
That's okay. You just need to sign for this, all right?
So do you want to go out sometime?
If I say yes, will you sign for your damn package?
So yeah, 8 o'clock?
Mr. Pilgrim! I'm Ramona's first evil ex-boyfriend.
What? If we're gonna date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
So what you're saying is we are dating?
Hi guys, Lonnie from Fanboy Planet with Edgar and Brandon from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Thanks for sitting with us, guys. My first question was for Edgar. How did you first find the Scott Pilgrim property and what attracted you to this film?
I'd love to say that I was in a comic book shop and I happened upon it and it was love at first sight, but the truth is that I think 2 weeks after it was published, 2 of the producers of the film, who I hadn't previously met, cornered me at a Shaun of the Dead screening, this is 6 years ago, and said, you have to read this is your next movie. So they were very prescient in that respect. So I read the book maybe just as it came out, and I loved the central kind of premise, and I think even before I'd finished actually reading the first volume, I was already kind of my mind was whirring about how exactly to bring it to the screen.
So the movie's very stylized and very visual. Is that more of Edgar bringing his style to Scott Pilgrim, or is the Scott Pilgrim influencing your style, or a little bit of both?
I hope a little bit of both. I tried to be very sort of true to the comics, but it's up to me to kind of make those things kind of move and stuff.
I think Michael put it best earlier. It felt like Edgar was running a computer program on us, and you'd finish and he'd make a little adjustment, and you'd do it again because everything was so precise. Your body movement, your hand movement, face. You weren't allowed to blink unless it was an intentional, timed blink.
It's finely tuned.
It was very finely tuned.
Yeah.
It was just a sort of an irresistible challenge to try and bring that kind of tone of the humor and the characters and even the artwork, the quality of the artwork into live action.
Rehearsing really helped.
Yeah.
That was nice. Yeah, we had a few weeks to rehearse, and that helped so much with figuring everything out and getting to know all the other actors and just finding it. That was really helpful.
Now, Brandon, you play Todd Ingram, right?
That's right.
Bass player, vegan with superpowers. What was more enticing, strapping on the bass or hopping back into the wire harness?
Well, if I had my choice between those two, I'd probably take the bass. But it depends on how long I had to be in the harness. And actually, for this movie, I didn't have to be in the harness very long at all.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other actors really had to do a lot more wire work than I did, so I got the good end of that.
I don't think anybody enjoys being in the harness, do they?
No. It's fun for the first couple minutes, depending on what you're doing, but then after a couple hours and 10 takes, it gets a little painful. But I honestly, the biggest thing that I was excited about was being able to do, being in an Edgar Wright film, which was, very awesome, and then just to be able to do comedy.
Tell it to the cleaning lady on Monday.
What?
Because you'll be dust by Monday. Because you'll be pulverized in 2 seconds. And the cleaning lady, she cleans up dust. She dusts.
So obviously there's a lot of video game references in the film. I was curious, were there any references that you felt you had to put in, or some you had to leave out, or from specific video games?
We tried to, with the video game, music and sound effects, make it, for a certain generation, it's like the soundtracks of their lives,
Sure.
and they're kind of like lullabies in a way.
Right.
And even with some of the Mac and PC sounds, we tried to do the greatest hits of Mac and PC over the years, as just the sort of the sounds that this generation have grown up with. So
Right.
that was a lot of them are. A lot of the video game references are all sort of older. They
Yeah.
kind of make me feel nostalgic in a way,
From more that 8-bit generation.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is people always talk about video games in a contemporary sense, and yet they've been with us for over 30 years.
Right.
What are you doing?
Getting a life. I just felt so proud of it, and so happy to see that it works. This stuff that Edgar had been describing for so long, working. I felt really happy for him and proud of him, and excited to be a part of it.
So Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, had some British people in there. Scott Pilgrim, Canadian. Are you ever going to do a story about Americans?
He's American in the film.
No.
Most of. I don't know if this is like a sort of. I don't mean to make any comment, but most of the villains are American in the film.
Right.
Our hero is Canadian, and but our dream girl, Ramona Flowers, is from North Carolina, and you know, most of the exes are coming in from the States. So it was nice actually, as a Brit, to kind of make. It's my first American film, but it's set in Canada, and it's also like a culture clash comedy in a sense as well.
It's a North American movie.
It's a North American movie. There you go.
What's next for Scott Pilgrim? If for some reason they do a sequel, what finish the sentence? Scott Pilgrim versus
The audience.
Yeah, you could do like a William Castle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
Okay.
3D thing where I'm coming and punching the audience.
Scott Pilgrim versus you, or
Yeah,
something maybe.
Versus you, that's good.
There you go. Well, awesome guys. I love the film.
Or what
Thanks so
about,
much.
sorry to interrupt, but
No problem.
Scott Pilgrim versus you, Derek Westerman.
Right, just
Just
single
a
one person
one
out.
guy.
But then you'd only get one ticket sold, maybe. So, and maybe
You probably see it a lot.
He would see it so many times. Yeah.
right. Well, thanks
Or
so
you
much,
could just
guys,
charge him like $50 million to watch the
for
movie.
one ticket. Right, that'd be awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Scott Pilgrim versus the World in theaters August 13th.